Very good.
So good evening, everyone. This is Brendan Magnan, Chair of the Inland Wetlands Commission. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting for May 15th, 2024. Lisa, please call the roll.
Daniel Bedecker.
Here.
Brian Black. Jim Connors.
Here.
Matthew Connors. Buddy Field. Nick Ritchie.
Here.
Ranjit Bahav. Steve Munson.
Here.
Julie Valvo.
And I'm here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I always leave you for last and I was looking at absent. Sorry.
Yeah, there are a lot of absences. I'm counting the number that we have here.
Commissioner Field is also not here this evening.
Right, she did call for his.
I missed it. Sorry.
But I didn't see him declare that he wasn't going to be here.
He called the office.
He did? Okay. Okay, so we have a quorum. Let's proceed. As we begin the meeting, I want to remind everyone that in accordance with Governor Lamont's executive orders and the Freedom of Information Act, this meeting is being recorded. Okay, the meeting is being recorded and will be made available on the City of Milford website. Please be sure to mute your lines unless recognized by me, the chair, and only direct any of your input through me during the meeting and pertaining only to the jurisdiction of this agency. I'd like to invite everyone to stand and unmute their lines and join me in citing the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of
the United States of America and to the republic which stands
one nation
under God, indivisible,
with
liberty and justice
for all.
Thank you, everyone. Is there anyone here wishing to address the agency on topics not otherwise on the agenda? Seeing none, Lisa, I just want to make it known that Commissioner Bahave is on the meeting. Old business. Mary Rose, can you introduce old business, please?
Sure, I'm going to do a screen share while I talk. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, item D1, IWC 230014, 68 Surf Avenue. This is a violation that was issued on December 28th, 23 for work in a wetland and 100-foot upland review area without a permit at 68 Surf Ave. At the agency's 3/20/24 meeting, you called for modified the violation to require the property owner to complete the following work and call for an inspection by May 9th, 2024. And that was to remove the shed, the 12x7x7 shed, move the temporary 6x9 shed and a garden back onto the McDonald property, and to move the fence back to the property line. City engineering staked the property line on March 25th. On May 2nd, I received photos from Mrs. McDonald that the work had been done. Those photos were in the meeting documents, and they show the relocated fence, the shed, relocated fence, the moved shed and raised bed garden, and a photo of the area where the other shed had been. I visited the site on 5/14 and met with Ms. McDonald and Mr. Shea and walked the property. Those notes and photos are in the meeting documents, and you're seeing a couple of the photos on the screen at this time. The first photo, photo 1, shows the fence moved. You can see the little bit of dirt here where there's no grass. That the fence used to be here. It has been moved over to this area. And this looks down, the grass is starting to grow back because they've moved it for a few weeks now. And the fence is moved back onto the McDonald property. The 12 by 7 by 7 wooden storage shed used to be in this area. It has been removed. There's a small workspace for their son in that area at this time. That's all on their property. It's not on the city property. This is the small temporary shed that's been moved back onto McDonald property. And these are the raised bed gardens that have also been moved back onto the property. You can see they've been moved back out of this area. The sheds, garden, and fence have been moved or removed as required by the agency. This evening, the agency needs to review the violation to determine if the remaining structures, if they're ready to release the violation, and if the remaining structures on the property, the gardens and the garden sheds and the greenhouse, can remain as uses permitted as of right under Section 4. And I included the relevant portions of Section 4 in the meeting notes. Ms. McDonald is here. If anyone has any questions or has any questions for me.
Thank you, Mary Rose. Appreciate the update, and thank you to the homeowner, Ms. McDonald, for the work that you've done. Is there anything, Ms. McDonald, you'd like to add to the record before we discuss?
No, I think that Mary Rose has covered it.
Great, thank you. And any questions from the agency? Commissioner Munson.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, Mary Rose, you feel the McDonald's have complied substantially with what we require, or at least in the process of doing so?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, yes, the structure that was on the city property has been moved back off the right of way. Now the agency can consider the other structures that are in the rear yard and are likely within 100 feet of a wetland. The majority of them are garden focused. Mr. Shea has a very, very good garden, variety of little plots, but a very large garden area back there. And gardening is a use permitted as of right under Section 4 point, I believe it's 1. 1A for grazing, farming, nurseries, and gardening, harvesting of farm things. The greenhouse could be part of a farming activity. They're currently used for storage, but it has been used for gardening in the past. There is a pool on the property. You saw that in the earlier photos from the winter. There's a pool over in this area and a little deck to go with the pool. That pool had been permitted by zoning and was never referred down to us. Pool's been in place for a while. It's stable. There's no additional work to destabilize the soil unless you require it to be removed. And it is a use that could be considered as of right for use and enjoyment of a property under Section 4.
Thanks, Mary Rose.
Thank you.
So I just
Go ahead, Mr.
I'm inferring from that no other agency of the city has any problems with the property at this point.
The agency can't.
Mary Rose is.
Yeah. The only concern the agency had is we couldn't permit anything that wasn't on the McDonald's property. We would have needed permission from the city for anything that hung over the line. If another agency has issues, they will write their own orders.
I'd entertain a motion to release and authorize the Mary Rose to issue a just jurisdictional ruling. I think we've exhausted all of the concerns, and Ms. McDonald has been very responsible in resolving them.
I'll make that motion, Brian.
I'll second it.
Okay. Mary Rose, do you want to read the motion on behalf of Mr. Connors, or Jim, do you
I
have?
would appreciate that because I don't have it in front of me.
Okay.
Sure, I can do that. As usual, I've prepared a variety of motions to do anything the agency can with this item. The item I believe Mr. Connors wants to read as Mr. Chairman. I move that cease and desist order IWC 230014, 68 Surf Avenue and City of Milford right-of-way be released, and that the designated agent issue a jurisdictional ruling for a uses permitted as of right under Section 4 of the MIWA regulations for the following existing structures at 68 Surf Avenue: a raised bed gardening, a greenhouse, movable storage sheds, of which there are 2, and an existing 21-foot round above-ground swimming pool with a deck. This decision is based on the information in the file and submitted by the applicant. That is my motion. Or that is a motion.
Mr. Connors, is that your motion?
That sounds fine, yes.
And seconded by Mr. Ricci. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing no discussion, Lisa, roll call vote.
Daniel Bedecker,
Aye.
Jim Connors. Jim?
Aye.
Nick
Aye.
Ritchie? Nick
Aye.
Ritchie?
Aye.
Ranjit Bahav?
Yeah, aye.
Steve Munson?
Aye.
Brendan Magnan?
Aye, the motion carries unanimously. Ms. McDonald, thanks for coming back before us. Thanks for all the work you've done since the last meeting. Good luck with your property. Moving on to the next item on the agenda, which is
Minutes as item E, consideration of minutes of the previous meeting.
the minutes. Do we have a motion to accept the minutes from April 17th, 2024 as presented?
Make that motion.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
We have a second. Thanks, Mr. Ritchie. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, Lisa, roll call vote.
Daniel Bedecker?
Aye.
Jim Connors?
Aye.
Okay. Nick Ritchie?
Aye.
Ranjit Bahav?
So I would like to abstain because I was not there in the last meeting.
Okay. Steve Munson?
Abstain.
Brendan Magnan?
Aye. The motion carries. Thank you, everyone. Next up, Mary Rose, staff report.
Alrighty. The office has had a number of inquiries, minor reviews, and we're submitting reports to other departments as required, zoning transmittals and the like. We continue to have calls from citizens concerned about flooding and high water levels. Slowed down over the last few weeks, picking up again a little bit the last couple of days. They've got a bit of water in and around their property with the increased amount of rainfall we've had this year. We are starting to see more requests for pools, decks, and sheds, and minor work within the upland review areas. General questions about what they can and can't do with their yard for folks that have just moved in. There's information in the notes about training opportunities. A little bit about bills in the legislature did not go anywhere, so we're good with that. And then project statuses. Noting, working on this yesterday, made the notes rather long. Do you want me to synopsize this in a separate annex to this, or is it okay to leave that in the meeting notes?
Fine.
Fine, okay. We did get a email this week. The community rating system 5-year annual review will be this year. It's a significant amount of work. I'd be devoting probably a day a week to that to get that all up and running and keep it together. It's a in-depth look at the things that the city says they've been doing for the last 5 years and receiving credit. Just as a reminder, there's a program from FEMA where if we do a bunch of things annually and report to them annually, they give our citizens that are in the flood zones and have flood insurance a 5% discount on their flood insurance. So that meeting or that review of our program will be before November 30th. And
Mayor Rose, if I could just comment, that's really important work, especially given the benefit that provides to all those impacted directly. 5% is not insignificant.
some of the bills are significant and the 5% makes a difference for folks. So, it's a lot of work. It probably should be another person. There's 3 of us that work on it a little bit at a time until a year like this when it pulls me away from other things that I could be doing for the agency. Site status update. We should be seeing some annual mitigation reports from Avalon and, the apartment complex on Avalon Drive and Pepe's Farms Road in the next few weeks. Gotten a few as-built in, working on their finals to get those bond releases, and otherwise projects are working and going forward. Our next meeting is June 5th. Does anybody have any questions for me?
Oh. No questions here. Great, thanks, Mary Rose. Nothing to add from the chair this evening. Do you have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make it.
We have a motion in a second. Do we have a second?
Second.
Roll call vote, Lisa.
Daniel Bedecker,
Aye.
Jim Connors. Jim,
Aye.
Nick Ritchie,
Aye.
Ranjit Bahav,
Aye.
Steve Munson,
Aye.
Brendan Magnan.
Aye. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank
Have
you,
a good
everyone,
evening.
for coming.
Good night.
Good night, all.
Good night.
Meeting adjourned.
Good night.
Lindsay, we're all done.